So once again, good morning, everyone. You all can do better than that. Good morning. All right. So welcome to Peaking of You, a special event dedicated to raising awareness on breast cancer. I'm thrilled to see each of you here today. On behalf of the 1890 Center of Excellence for Nutrition, Health, Wellness, and Quality of Life, I would like to thank you for joining us today. I am Kiana Kelly, and I serve as the director for the Center of Excellence. I would also like to acknowledge our Chancellor Dean, Dr. Orlando F. McMeans, in his absence. I would also like to acknowledge our Vice Chancellor for Academic and Student Support and the Project Director for the Center of Excellence, Dr. Renita Marshall. Our mission for the Center of Excellence is to support the tripartite land grants mission of research, teaching, and extension. We are dedicated to contributing meaningful solutions to improve the health and well-being of minority and underserved populations. Today's events align with this mission by empowering individuals through knowledge, support, and community as we stand together in the fight against breast cancer. Breast cancer is most common in U.S. women. Although breast cancer occurs mainly in women, it can also occur in males as well. We are honored to have our guest speakers with us today as they provide insights to help us better understand and how we can advocate for our health and the health of others. Together, let's continue to raise awareness and contribute to healthier lives and your healthier lives and healthier lives for all. Thank you again for being here and enjoy the event.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Destiny Davis, and I am a Center of Excellence Scholar. On today, I have the great honor to introduce Miss Iman McCallan. She is a certified family nurse practitioner serving in the greater Baton Rouge area and former nurse educator, a Louisiana native of New Orleans. Iman received both her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing and master's degree at Southern University A&M College. Currently, she is set to graduate from Southern in May of 2025 with her doctorate in nurse practice. Since matriculating through Southern University, Iman has become a member of several organizations, the National Association of Advancement of Colored People, better known as the NAACP, where she serves as a vice president of the Baton Rouge branch, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Chi Eta Phi Nursing Sorority, where she serves as the Beta Club advisor, and Southern University Alumni Federation lifetime member. Rooting in the community, activism, and fighting healthcare disparity, Iman has devoted herself to change as she continuously advocates for social justice, voting, education, wellness, and healthcare access. Her favorite scripture is, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who loves him, who has been called accordingly to his purpose. Romans 8:28. She knows that with God, even the bad works for the good. Apart from her devotion to make a difference, the most treasured part of Iman's life is spent sharing love, laughter, and memories with her fiance, Ray's Malik, parents Yasmin McGee and Michael McCallahan, family and friends. Now, welcome to the stage, Miss Yvonne.
Hello, all. I'm Iman McClanahan, and I have a breast cancer awareness presentation slide for you all. So, again, I am a family nurse practitioner, and I have been since 2019 upon my graduation from Southern University School of Nursing. Next slide for me. So, what is breast cancer? Breast cancer is a disease in which abnormal cells begin growing at rapid rates, creating tumors in your breast. Due to early detection, the average survival rate in the US is 91%, with a localized survival rate of 99%. Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer, and 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. Next slide for me. So, risk factors that you can change: drinking alcohol, so limiting your alcohol intake, smoking, being overweight or obese, not being physically active, not having children, not breastfeeding, birth control medications such as oral contraceptives because of the hormones, menopausal hormonal therapy, as well as breast implants in very, very rare cases. Next slide. So, risk factors that you are not able to change that can lead to breast cancer are being born female, aging, genetic disposition, meaning that you have the BRCA1, BRCA2 gene, there's a slew of them. Family history, race, your height. So if you're normally a tall person or height of over 5'9", you're more likely to get breast cancer. Personal history of benign breast conditions, meaning that they aren't malignant, but you've had some type of adenoma, mastitis. Also, early menstruation and late menopause. So, starting your period really young in life, or start having menopause really late in life. As well as dense breast tissue. A lot of times we go to our primary care provider and we're getting those breast exams, and they say, "Oh, you have lumpy breasts." That is what this breast tissue is when you have a lumpy breast. Next slide for me, please. So, signs of breast cancer. Signs of breast cancer are typically, next slide, please. Signs of breast cancer are typically when you have a nodule or a mass. Next slide. Okay, thank you. Or a new lump that can be found in your breast or in your armpit area. It is usually painless and immovable. One patient in particular that I found breast cancer on, it was actually in her right armpit. And she had never noticed the nodule, and we sent her for testing. So becoming familiar with your breast is really important. So they can also be painful. So this is the time where I want to take and say, advocate for yourself as a patient. Advocate for yourself. You can think it's nothing, you can write it off, but always check. Always check to be sure. There is breast or nipple pain, nipple discharge, other than breast milk, so it can be blood or a black discharge. Nipple retraction, meaning that your nipples are actually going inward. Redness or scaliness, thickness of the nipple or breast skin. To the left, I have a picture of an orange, and that is called peau d'orange. When your skin starts to change and feel like an orange, you need to go get checked. Skin irritation and dimpling, swelling of all are part of the breast, even if it's a distinct even if no distinct lump is felt, and changes in shape or size of the breast. Different people have different symptoms of breast cancer, and some people have no symptoms at all. This is why screening is so important. Next slide, please. The types of breast cancer. Next slide. So you will have ductal carcinoma. This cancer happens in about 7 of every 10 women. It is the breast ducts in which the cancer starts. And then there is lobular cancer, which is your least common. It happens in 1 in every 10 women. Other women have a mixture of both. There are more types of breast cancer than this. Not all breast cancers happen the same way or behave in the same manner. Some are metastatic, meaning they advance to other parts of your body, meaning it can go to your bones, it can go to your lymphatic system, to various organs. Also, localized cancer. This is confined to just the breast only. And then there is recurrent cancer, when you have cancer that can come back. Next slide, please. So your treatment options. So you're going to have local treatment options, which are surgery and radiation, specifically targeting that area. That is when you have a localized breast cancer. Most women will have some type of surgery to remove the tumor, depending on the type of breast cancer and how advanced it is. There's another type of treatment called systemic treatments. This is where you do chemo, hormonal therapy, as well as targeted drug therapy and immunotherapy when it can reach cells all over your body to target those cancer cells. Breast cancer in African American. Black women are 4% less likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. However, 40% higher chances of dying due to breast cancer than any other race, including white women. Many complex factors contribute to this gap in care, and most of it is because of racial bias, healthcare bias, as well as lack of access to care or limited access to care. So, of course, Black people, not all Black people, tend to reside in impoverished areas where there are not a lot of healthcare centers. And so they don't get access to care in a timely manner. And so that leads women, Black women in particular, to be diagnosed at a later stage. Black women have a higher incidence of the mutation of the BRCA1 and 2 genes. Most commonly diagnosed in Black women are the inflammatory and triple negative, also called basal-like breast cancer. Triple negative cancer is the most aggressive type of breast cancer, and it can occur at younger ages. This is why I say advocate for yourself, because even when you're 20 or 30, you could be experiencing a symptom of breast cancer, and a doctor may write it off as, a benign condition, and not send you for the testing that you need. So always, always, always advocate for yourself. Triple negative is not sensitive to hormone, estrogen, or progesterone, and does not produce the promoting protein called HER2. This makes it difficult to treat. The leading cause of cancer death amongst Black women is breast cancer, next to colorectal cancer. So not only are we going to get our mammograms, we're going to get our colonoscopies, okay? Breast cancer in men. Less than 1% of breast cancer cases occur in men, but it does still happen. Their symptoms are the breasts are hard, there's a painless lump in the breast or underarm, nipple changes, dimpling, puckering, redness, nipple discharge, rash, soreness, just like a woman would have. A lot of times men will come into the clinic and they actually have blood residue on the inside of their shirts. And so it's not like they've looked and seen, oh, I had breast changes or anything like that to their pectoral area, but they noticed discharge that was found on their shirt. Risk factors are family history of breast cancer, inherited gene mutations, cirrhosis of the liver, and again, being overweight or obese. Treatment options are the same: surgery, chemo, radiation, targeted therapy, hormonal therapy, and immunotherapy. Next slide for me. So, reducing your risk. Breast cancer screening is the best defense against breast cancer. I'm going to repeat that again. Breast cancer screening is the best defense against breast cancer. So, you're going to either perform your monthly self breast examination or schedule your yearly mammogram beginning at age 40. You can opt in to start doing your mammogram every year from ages 45 to 54. It is recommended that you have it yearly. And as you get older, above age 55, you can switch to every other year. But I always tell my patients, hey, just go get it done. It doesn't hurt anything. Guidelines are always changing when it comes to recommendations from the American Academy of Family Physicians. But I always say, if you can get it sooner, get it done sooner. It's a simple code that any provider can put in order to get that screening done for you, even if it's something as simple as a breast ultrasound. Can you play that video for me that will teach you how to do that self-breast examination? It may not play. If it doesn't play, I can explain it. Well, there goes my nice little video. I'll explain it to you. So when you do your self-breast check, you always want to pick a day that you're going to remember every month. If that's your birthday, then you're going to pick that day every month to do your self-breast examination. So when you do your self-breast examination, also, if you're a woman on your menstrual cycle, you're going to wait a week after your period. I always tell my patients a week after your period, because if you do it a week before your period or during your period, your period is likely, your menstrual cycle is causing you to be more tender in that area. Not only is it going to be more tender, it's likely that you're going to have those lumpy breasts that are often spoke about from your provider. So you're going to take 3 fingers. First, you're going to start by looking in the mirror. You look in the mirror for any signs of changes to the skin, any puckering, meaning your skin is pulling back from within your breast. That means your nipples are going inward. You're going to look for all of those changes within your breast to make sure that there's no abnormalities. Then you're going to take 3 fingers and you're going to glide them across your breast. I always tell my patients to start at your nipple so that you don't miss it. Some people will start above at the top, but I always say start at your nipple and make small circles around, not moving your hand from your breast area, going all the way around and into your underarm area so that you don't miss that area. Your lymph nodes should feel like a small bean. It should not feel larger than a bean. If it feels larger than a bean, I need you to go get checked. So you're going to do that to both sides. The easiest way for you to check your breast in terms of feeling would be in the shower because your fingers will glide due to the water. You can also check your breast while lying down. I always have my patients raise one arm while they're checking the other side if you're going to lay down and put that arm above your head. The more familiar you are with your breast, the more you are able to detect what's wrong sooner. Dr. Ronnie Whitfield actually made a comment about how a husband found breast cancer in his wife or abnormal change. And he said, Doc, right here, something is not right. So the more familiar you or even your partner can become with your body, you can detect those changes that will occur. Next slide for me. So ways to reduce your breast cancer risk: keeping a healthy weight, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, limiting your alcohol intake, and breastfeeding your babies. My teacher in my doctoral program, her daughter was actually diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 33 with no known prior family history of having breast cancer and also having had genetic testing done. The doctor said that this was likely because she was pregnant but did not was unable to continue the pregnancy due to complications, and the milk ducts proliferated with cancer cells. And so she was diagnosed with cancer. She is a cancer survivor. A few weeks after she was diagnosed with cancer, her grandfather was diagnosed with breast cancer and shortly died a month later. So sometimes it's in your family and the genetic testing won't even pick it up. So next slide for me. Resources are Women's Hospital, local resources. We also have Mary Bird Perkins Center, African American Breast Cancer Alliance Incorporated, federally qualified health centers such as Care South, RKM, Open Healthcare Clinic. They do have a mammogram bus that comes to their clinic monthly. So if Women's Hospital is too far for you, then you can always go there. Baton Rouge General also does mammogram screenings. So that's another option too. And then there's the Facebook groups. I'll tell my own personal story. When I was 16, I always knew I wanted to do medicine. I always knew I wanted to be a nurse or doctor. It was actually my intention to go from nurse to doctor. And when I was in high school, I learned about self-breast examinations. And so because I learned about it, I started practicing it and putting it into my own routine. And lo and behold, as I was feeling around, I felt a little milk dud. And I was like, Mama, something is floating around in here. I don't know. And she immediately took me to the doctor. And when she took me to the doctor, they did a ultrasound, I believe was first, and then they did the mammogram. But of course, by me being so young, they said the mammogram's not really picking up, so we're just gonna take it out. Thank God when they took it out and did the biopsy, it was a benign little cyst that was inside, and it was actually on both breasts, but they removed it so that I wouldn't have any further problems moving on. So this is why I say advocate, advocate, advocate. If the doctor is not trying to hear you, research shows that typically our people are treated better when we see our people. That is a reason why I'm a provider, so that I can help my people. Of course, I want to help all people, but not everybody understands our culture. They don't understand our language. They don't all the time understand our frustrations and how it can come out outwardly. And they may take offense to it and then stop listening to you. But when you see someone that understands, they'll keep listening to you and keep advocating for you. And that's why you also have to advocate for yourself, okay? Next slide. That's all I have for you all today. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Chef Tracy Vincent. So, Chef Tracy Vincent is a 2003 graduate of LSU Manship School of Mass Communication, where she earned a bachelor's in mass communication with a concentration in public relations. After graduation, she moved to Washington, D.C., and was able to secure employment as a legislative aide on Capitol Hill. In 2011, Tracy obtained a master's in government from Johns Hopkins University. However, being far from home made her miss dearly all the unique tastes of Louisiana. So she started cooking. That love for home turned into a calling to become a chef. In 2013, Tracy returned home and immediately enrolled in culinary school. In 2015, she graduated culinary school and received an associate degree in advanced culinary arts from Louisiana Culinary Institute. Tracy has participated in several cooking competitions and is a recipient of several culinary college scholarships, including an award from the James Beard Foundation. Currently, Tracy is a private chef with a focus on nutrition-dense and anti-inflammatory foods. Formerly, Tracy was the mobile kitchen chef for the American Heart Association in partnership with Go Get Healthy, a project of Mayor Broom's Health City initiative. She also blends a line of spices and teaches private cooking classes for Red Stick Spice Company. She volunteers at schools in the community to educate about healthy food preparation and consumer choices. For several years, she partnered with the New Orleans chapter of the Links Incorporation for
Obesity Day during their Saturday school program to educate children in the New Orleans area on how to prepare healthy meals. She also catered conferences and galas with customized menu options and frequently hosts live and virtual cooking demonstrations. Be on the lookout for Cooking Classes series and a soon to be released line of spice blends. You can follow her on social media at Chef Tracy Vincent and at www.cheftracy.com. Now I welcome Chef Tracy Vincent.
Hi. Testing. This is when the gossip has to start, when you get a hot mic. It's a little joke. Thank you all for having me. I'm absolutely honored to be with you today, to listen to all this awesome information. I don't know where the previous speaker is, but I was just like, oh yeah, awesome. Like just wrinkles all over my brain. I'm heeding it. You know, I try to stay ahead. I try to like find best practices from whomever and say, okay, I'm gonna take that too. So, but at the same time, I recognize that it can be daunting to eat in America. I'm exhausted. I mean, chef. I'm a human. I'm a consumer. I'm an American. I'm tired of having to think about what's safe to eat. Has anyone ever heard of food as medicine? It's a real thing. So not that long ago, do you all recall when like Mama, Papa had a witch doctor? I know y'all know somebody that used to kind of go see the Western medicine doctor, but they really trusted the gree person in the neighborhood who used to like give them a little herbs, give them a little this, a little that. So that was our medicine. It was the natural stuff. It was the herbalist who wasn't like officially a PhD in, herbs, but they were the person that just knew what from the earth, what from food could heal you. And so somehow, okay, I'm gonna have to kind of like I don't know if y'all have to like record this, like just dub over it. I'm gonna speak some uncomfortable truth, okay? But I want us to walk away sharing all these best practices so that we have something to fight with when we leave here. So, anybody heard of the Rockefellers? That family, neighbors of Madam C.J. Walker, first black female millionaire, first female millionaire actually. They gave a lot of money to medical schools a long time ago. So we kind of got away from the witch doctor. We started to kind of look at the witch doctor like this. Oh, no, I'm going to go to my doctor, get one, and go to the drugstore. No, you don't need, no, what you're talking about is kind of funny. We started to kind of look at the witch doctor with a side eye and trusting the Western medicine industry too much. Now, look, all due respect to medicine and the doctors who put in years upon years of sacrifice and study that I did not do so that they can advise us how to best take care of ourselves. I don't have an x-ray machine at home. I don't have the ability to get a prescription when I need it. So I work with my doctor, but I have autonomy. When I go to the grocery store, when I go to birthday parties, when I go out, we have to be alert, conscious when we are consuming food. I didn't want to say woke because I feel like it's been worn out. But I want you to go into the grocery store vigilant, like you are buying a car. Everybody knows what buying a car. You on alert. You got to get ready before you even leave your house. You're like, okay, I know what I want to spend. I know what color I want. I mean, if I ask each of you what car you want, you could tell me. But then you kind of go into the store just unprepared. Just grab the grocery cart and you just walk through. I'm hungry. No, absolutely not. Not in this country. Not when it's for profit, just like the car industry. They want your money. That's the bottom line, just like that car dealer. And you walk into the dealership. I'm surprised that when we go in the grocery store, they're not pitching people to us. Like, hey, have you seen this? That happens actually every now and then. Like on the weekends, you get a sample, right? But most of what we need is on the walls of the grocery store and in the produce section. But we kind of make our ways to the middle where all the expiration dates are. And why is this such a big deal, Chef? It's because this is everything. Our gut flora, our gut microbiome. I am constantly trying to keep my ear to the ground, like I said, for best practices from chefs, from people who are herbalists, doctors, researchers, scholars. Why are we always so sick? I had 3 men in my family die in the last year from cancer. All over the age of 60, all very patriarchal figures, and I'm just hoping I could say this and I get choked up. but you just feel victimized by the fact that this is prevalent, not just in the Black community, but to everyone. Oh, y'all so sweet. I hope I can hold them back for a second. But, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer runs in my family. Not so much breast cancer, but I'm not sleeping on it. I do my self-checks. And just to be honest, because I don't want y'all walking away like, oh, I had some pink lemonade, this was fun. No, you're going to have some new information after this. I am 43 years old. I am perimenopausal, and I had a lump in my breast, and it freaked me out. This was 3 weeks ago. And it took me forever to see my doctor. And I have private insurance. Y'all have to stay alert. So I said, okay. I remember on my chart, I couldn't get the appointment. It said, has there been any changes to your breast? I said, yes. Selected this. That actually declined the appointment. No, go see your doctor first. No, I want the ultrasound. So I'm sitting here fighting with the device, and I finally just lied so I could get in. And I got my ultrasound, and they were like, oh, no, you're fine. They're scanning. I'm like, okay. But you have to stay on it. There's too many cases where, oh, this hurts, that hurts, and you just keep moving. Pause. Major pause button, because we take care of everybody, don't we? As Black women, and we're tired. We're really tired. And you have to just really pause and say, okay, even though this is not what I'm accustomed to doing, I'm going to take off. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to focus on figuring out what this thing is. So, but I could have very well gotten a different answer, because breast cancer is not just for someone who's in baby boomer, elderly. It's happening to people in their 20s, 30s, 40s. I know multiple women who were early 20s getting lumpectomies in stage 1. I'm like, wow. So I want to move on to the hope in all this. Food is medicine. I have a very hard time finding real and whole foods. When I go to the store and I want a seeded watermelon, and I say it yelling because seedless ain't real. Somebody just engineered that. I don't even know what that is. How did you grow it? Show me the farm. I want the black seeds that, the ones that rumored make you have a watermelon in your baby or whatever. I want, because that's where the minerals and the nutrition are. We don't even have real food here. Seeded grapes. Did y'all get the little grapes on the charcuterie board? I deliberately got seeded grapes because that is actually a connection to fighting breast cancer. But you get seedless grapes every time you go to the store. What is that? Have you ever complained about a seed? Is it the consumer the reason why we even have this? This whole industry, aren't you trying to sell this to me? So why'd you take the seeds away? And the nutrition is in it. The essential oil, the grapeseed oil, is in the grape seed. Leave it in there. Watermelon, restoring minerals. The intestines, back to gut flora. So hopefully everybody in here is taking out their garbage daily. We're about to eat, so I don't want to gross you out. I'm going to speak as much code as I possibly can. But let's just talk about, this is very important. This is called your second brain. That large intestine, small intestine. But we have so many foods that don't serve it properly, right? If you just take care of your brain and your gut flora, your colon, you will be healthy. You won't have to worry about losing weight for this wedding I'm about to go. No. Because if you take care of this and you take care of this, everything else falls into place. And the liver, if you can get in there and do some extra love on the liver, that would be great too, because that detoxes your body. So whenever you do something like you have a little too much fun, your liver's like, I got you. I'll filter all this stuff out. But if you do a little too much, your liver gets tired just like you do. And this is all, food theory, because I've seen it with people time and time again. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Have no medical training. So you can take it or leave it, what I'm saying. But one of the things you can eat, and this is why I got some water boiling, is Brussels sprouts. You need to dump the garbage every single day. If you are having issues with that, don't take a laxative, because that's another one. Moneymaker. Oh, you need some more medicine? No, you just need food. You need to whip up a pineapple and a cucumber, and you'll be on the toilet shortly. Remember that? Or, there's many, many choices. The first part of the morning when you wake up, squeeze a half a lemon or a half a lime in a tall glass of water, like 20 ounces. You'll be on the toilet in 5 minutes. You're welcome. And especially if you like eating meat, your body can't get rid of it fast enough. Your body knows what to do with vegetables. Like, oh, I know this, I know that, but they're doing too many weird things to meat these days, giving them antibiotics, in some cases, feeding some of the animals to the animals. I mean, if you've seen the documentaries, you know what I'm talking about. It gets kind of scary. So, but give your body a break. Eat some vegetables instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just process some Brussels sprouts. So y'all know this is not rocket science. They come in a little net bag, and they're usually sold by the pound. You can get them pre-chopped if you're rich and you won't spend $3 more because somebody did it for you. But if you're a working girl like me and you want to do the extra labor to save a few dollars, then you can chop them yourself. Now, so I have them pre-chopped, did a little bit of work before I got here. But Brussels sprout looks like a little cabbage. And it's got so much nutrition. This is known as a superfood. It will help wipe everything out, again, on the toilet shortly. But with that, you cut off the stem, and then all these little extra leaves will fall off that are useless. And then you cut it in half. If it's a big one, you cut it again so that it's bite-sized, right? However you like. I think they're kind of hard to eat whole because of the size. So I got like 6 of them here. I'm just going to quickly chop them. Now, to the person that say, I ain't doing all of that, fine, don't then. Don't do it. And then be miserable and can't dump your garbage and feeling uncomfortable and going to get whatever Miralax. And then you got to be dependent on that medicine. And then it's a chemical too. So, just add chemicals to your body if you want to. Okay, so back to that gut flora. We want to give love to our colon. Drop them in the boiling water. This is called blanching. This is what your restaurant does before they add all the shelf-stable butter and sugar to your vegetables. Just saying. I said I was going to be honest. You might have to dub over the video or something if you don't want people to know what I said. I'm going to talk about you. I used to work in fine dining. Y'all. Shoulder drop. You're spending $43 an entree, and I'm putting shelf-stable butter. Did you know that? Why? If they're spending, because what I say is 2 words, for profit. Shelf-stable butter lasts longer than regular butter. Regular butter is expensive for a restaurant. So they'd rather just have the one that can have at room temperature on the shelf. And then when it's time to grill that $43 piece of fish, splash. It's beautiful. It tastes great, and you'll be back. And then you're like, why does my stomach feel like this? I'm my arthritis in my shoulder from that injury and that surgery. It's in the food. 80% is your food. 20% is your physical activity. Now, when stuff starts hurting, we come from a culture of, I guess I got to buy a cane now. No. It means you need to work out more. Strengthen it. It just means it's weak. And I mean, I'm on my feet all the time. I'm not like immune to any of this. I have sciatic nerve pain. I have, according to my chiropractor, I have arthritis, but I promise you it doesn't control me. I'm not waking up taking pain medicine. I'm eating my medicine. Every now and then when I have a little too much fun, I'm like, oh, Lord, I can barely. But I say, okay, I need to go do some squats. And I need to probably do some Brussels sprouts. But when you have that kind of perspective, you're not miserable and at the mercy of this Western food industry who's like, oh, okay, you're constipated, take Miralax. Oh, okay, you need this, take this. I mean, there's literally shelf-stable bacon. I walk into the produce section, and then if you know how gross supermarkets are set up, you walk past produce right into like the sausage and the deli meat. You walk right out of produce and you see like Oscar Mayer shelf-stable bacon. It's not even refrigerated. The science is fascinating. You mean it just sits here like it has? Like I can just not refrigerate this bacon ever? Y'all, just because we want to eat a BLT, you gonna buy that? Come on. Inflammation is irritation. There are foods that are inflammatory. So Inflammatory foods: beef, pork, refined sugar, wheat, adult beverages, and essentially something new that I found out is soy. Now, that's debatable. I don't know if that's just being said because there's a lot of misinformation out there, but soy, I have had a lot of soy milk in my life. I would hate to think that I'm inflaming myself by having that. Okay. But think deep about your food. This is why people have to get back into cooking, because you need to know what your food is made of, so that when it's manipulated and becomes shelf stable, then you recognize, oh, they didn't put this in it. They put this ingredient instead. And being knowledgeable and empowering yourself. So if you say, I don't eat pork, but you eat Skittles, yes, you do eat pork. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you need to start making candy, but know that gelatin comes in sheets and it's sourced from pork. When I was in culinary school, if we made a pie or something, we would have these little prepackaged sheets of gelatin, and we'd have to add it to liquid, and that was your pies. So you're eating pies, you're eating Jell-O, you're eating pudding, pig, any kind of gelatinous. Now, there's so many things that can just make you like, oh my God, I might as well just eat the cake, the whole thing. But don't get discouraged. There is a happy medium, but don't follow a diet. Know yourself. Know your habits. Know what you need. If you know that every time it gets around 3 o'clock, you need a sweet snack, you need to reevaluate yourself, because you can't follow a keto diet or what is it? Did I hit like half the room? Okay, so typically it means there's something missing. Now, I will give in to a craving, but then I'll also question it. Okay, that means I'm probably mineral deficient. I probably need some chromium. Probably need some magnesium, because magnesium is the stress supplement. So everybody needs to be taking magnesium. Black in America, take magnesium. And my doctor just put me on magnesium, but it helps you to not have that oxidative stress, to manage stress better. Free radicals, one of the other things that we think is causing cancer in people, are exposure to pollution, oxidative stress on our bodies from stress and all the other things, radiation exposure. There's some things that you can control, some you cannot. But all of us could afford to start eating a little bit more plant-based, fresh, and cooking more at home. When you cook at home, it's already going to save you money. It's already going to be healthy, because I promise you, you're not going to put all the butter in your food that a restaurant does. Just looking at it, you're going to be like, a whole stick? I can't do that. I've literally worked in restaurants where there's corn sauteing, and you see the butter get slapped in there and the white refined sugar. Isn't corn already good, is what I used to say as I see them do that every night. It's like, God, they're coming back. And that's what they want. Come back, give me your money, right? All right, so this is going to be the saute. So we did like a 4-minute steep on that. It's just like making tea. Drop it in there for a little bit. You can also do this with other vegetables. So I follow a lot of different doctors, also online, herbalists as well. And I learned about that whole taking out the garbage thing, that there was an incident where a woman was taking a birth control pill, which, as you would know, adds estrogen to her body. And she was constipated. And so with that, she was not able to get rid of the extra estrogen in her body. So her body just kept reabsorbing it. So she ended up with endometriosis. Does that make sense? Because in your colon, you have these very, almost like finger-like receptors called villi, microvilli. So if you cannot go and stuff is chucked around it, smeared, then this nutrient-absorbing agent in your body can't absorb the food, or what it does absorb might be toxic. It might be something your body's trying to get rid of. So does that make a little bit more sense? I was like, okay, when I heard that, what else other than estrogen may my body be trying to get rid of, a person be trying to get rid of that they can't, because it's all locked in. So drinking water. I have always been a fan of water, thank goodness. Since high school, I was one of the first people that carried water in their purse. Now everybody got a hydro flask and it's all popular. I used to get made fun of in high school for carrying a water bottle with me. Why do you have water with you? Because I like it. You know, oh Lord. All righty. Hard times. So with that, drinking water, there's a lot of people that's like, oh, I don't want to drink water. It doesn't taste good. It is life. It's all you need, really. You don't even need food that much. Okay, so you see that nice char I got on there? For some reason, Brussels sprouts are just so awesome like that. No matter how wet they will get in this process, they will always brown up for you. And it leaves you that nice, kind of like a umami flavor. All right, so I got a chance to talk to y'all during. Y'all see how hard this was? I had a whole lecture behind Brussels sprouts. Okay. Any questions about what I did here? I mean, I didn't mention the spices. So this is something I blend my own spices. So this is an all-purpose. It's onion powder, garlic powder, thyme, oregano, salt, and black pepper. So just some basic stuff because, you know, it keeps me from buying Tony's. You know, it has loads of. I mean, when I taste Tony's, I taste salt. I don't know about you, it's just red salt to me. But when I blend, I have more control. Add more control to your diet. Don't just be at the mercy of whatever someone is selling you because they just want your money. They don't know you. They're not making enough money to cook for you. They don't care. Think about that. You know, and you're just hungry. And they know you're going to be hungry. They've studied your whole neighborhood, your whole zip code. They say, oh, this medium income is in 70807. So we're going to put a Jack in the Box right there. That'll make some money. And then they build it. And then we go. Because we're hungry. And they studied us before we got there. That's America. But y'all can be slick and be like, you can't get me. Can't get my money. That's all right. I got an avocado in my purse and some dates and some walnuts and some almonds. Because I knew I had a meeting today and I wouldn't have time to stop for lunch. Boom, get them, got them. Can't get my dollars. I have not, thank goodness, I have not eaten at McDonald's since college, which was 25 years ago. Okay, 5 minutes. And I don't care how hungry I am, I will starve. Somebody give it to me free, I will say no thank you. I really appreciate it, but no thank you. I mean, I actually did just taste some orange juice from McDonald's a while back, like a few years back, and I went, this is not orange juice. This is what, it was just, I didn't know what it was, but it was not orange juice. All right, guys, I'm going to try to make a quick transition. I have a couple of other things I want to show you. So, salmon. I actually buy this from Target. It's farm raised. It's in the freezer. It's like $10 for 2 pounds. It's amazing. I just had to share it with you. It's like Oprah's favorite things, Tracy's favorite things. When you're having a long day, you're exhausted, you refuse to stop at the fast food restaurant that your neighborhood was studied and they built for your neighborhood, you go ahead and you just open one of these, and I don't care if it's a block of ice. We're actually going to just put it down here. Put it skin side down first so I can season it. I have a Cajun blacken blend that I like to put on my salmon. And blackening just means there's a lot of paprika. So that paprika sugar can brown and make your food have that delicious, like, meaty flavor. Okay? The jar is right here. Any questions? Oh, I have bought this bottle from Amazon. It was also my Instagram newsfeed. So this is grapeseed oil, and you can lift the top here and pour your oil if that's what you want to do, or you can spray it. And I stopped. That's another thing. Pam cooking spray, or like any of those nonstick sprays that are chemical laden. Another person that has not had $1 from me in a very long time. I just don't know what's in it. At the end of the day, I don't need everything to be nonstick. That's kind of an obsession in America. Everything needs to be like easy, convenient, at the mercy of giving you extra chemicals for your body because you're gonna cook your food in it. Then what is it? So that's just something that I always recognize and said, when I can get a chance to get another product, I will. So I'm gonna turn this on its side and then move this pot out of the way. But anyway, I could put this in my oven like a block of ice, maybe 350, 30 minutes, and it's perfect and very satisfying. Okay, I'll move this pot to the side. And I wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite things. It's actually called drumfish. It is the one thing, if I do dine out, I go to Pyran's and I only go for the drum. And if they say they don't have it, I leave. And I go back into that terrible parking lot and I go get my car. And y'all can tell them I said it. Sure, chef was talking about you. I sure was. All righty, I'm just gonna let residual heat cook this. I'm gonna cover that up. All right, don't want it to burn. All right, drumfish. Came kind of thin. I was surprised. Here, let's see. Again, we're gonna spray some nonstick spray. That may not be big enough. Cast iron is worth it, y'all. Once you level up on the choices you're making, then you move on to glassware for your food storage. So no more plastic. And then your pots. You toss out them little Walmart pots with the nonstick coating that always gets scraped up. Chuck it. Get cast iron and stainless steel. Do I have any? Okay. Got some heat going. Okay, so for drum, I think I'm going to go all-purpose seasoning, or should I blacken it? All right, let's blacken. Cast iron and blacken. Perfect. So hopefully I've given you some good takeaways to practice. Okay, so we have a lovely fillet of drum. Got this from Tony's because they did not have trout. I wanted some speckled trout, but I'll take drum instead. That's my other favorite. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the seasoning on top. Do this too for another layer of flavor. So a little dry dredge of blackening seasoning. And then we put it down face down. Presentation side down, as we say in the industry. Okay. Y'all didn't have any questions? I guess I was a little too honest. Kept it a little too real. But I am on a health journey too. You know, it's tough out in these streets, but when we find out about something good, we need to pass it on to each other. Yes, ma'am, you had a question? It does because, for example, if you are meal prepping and bringing your food to work and microwaving, your plastic tends to melt into the food. So it's best if you can't bring a plate from home to transfer it in, store it in glass. And they have glass food storage containers at like these wholesale clubs. You can store your food in that, and it's safer for microwaving or even putting in the oven. So I would absolutely say watch where you can store your food. Okay, so I will be sampling these things out. Like if you want Brussels sprouts, definitely come up and get some. Don't be shy. Okay, so blackening, blackening, blackening. And your cooking oils, let's talk about that for a moment. If you have a tendency to sear something at high heat or fry, hopefully we're not frying very much. But if you do, I would highly recommend avocado oil. It is good up to 500 degrees. 1 minute. Okay, and I'm wrapping up, guys, but avocado oil is good up to 500 degrees. There's a lot of information out there about cooking oils that can make you just cringe. I actually saw a gentleman on Instagram say that cooking with beef tallow is great. Like, this is going to go rancid. This is going to go rancid. I'm like, I would say the takeaway that's safe is extra virgin olive oil is the only thing you need to watch the temperature on. medium heat, low heat simmering, or room temperature dipping, salad dressing making. But also grapeseed oil that I was cooking with, up to 475 degrees, it's safe. So if you're doing high heat cooking, this is where you want to go. And of course, extra virgin olive oil, yum, 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 good room temperature, low heat simmering. But I wouldn't cook with beef tallow. My goodness, that's like a beef lard. And it's inflammatory. This is plant-based oils. And if you can, don't cook with them at all. Just use water. If you got to watch your cholesterol and that kind of thing. It's not absolutely necessary. Okay, let's see what we're working with here. All right, yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes. Fantastic question. Thank you so much for asking that. I actually have a real life experience from this. I have a cousin makes amazing food. She lives in New Orleans, and she puts and I make dressing with her pretty often every year. And she puts a stick of butter and things, and she like in all the layers from the cornbread to the seafood, everything gets buttered. And I would say, and then there's pork sausage. Remember the inflammatory list that we went through? Switch your pork sausage to ground turkey or ground chicken. Poultry is always safe. Nobody's allergic to chicken yet. Excuse me. Also, avoid the butter and get avocado oil. Now, I say this as a cow-loving person. It hurts that I can't drink a glass of milk, that I can't eat butter, that I have to watch the amount of cheese. It's like I had to break up with somebody I was still in love with. But the industry did it to me. I would not have broken up if I could have been healthy while eating it. I'm also lactose intolerant, so I would have had to watch it a little bit anyway. But it's just, but then continuing on to that, so I would substitute. Substituting small adjustments, guys, is the key secret to your success if you're trying to make adjustments and be healthier. So I would literally just change my fat from a animal-based fat to a plant-based fat. So avocado oil on everything. When you're doing the low heat cooking, extra virgin olive oil. If you got to pick one, just do the avocado oil. It's universal. It's neutral. Doesn't make the food taste different. And then, of course, when it comes to like the refined sugars, like when you have the sweet potatoes are good by themselves. Have you ever just roasted it? Poor thing is, you ever seen the video of the woman with the 10-pound bag of sugar and she's putting it over all the yams in the restaurant? Like, them people had arthritis pain the next day. That's not right. It's not fair, but they just went out to eat. They wanted to go to get soul food, and then they had to take Tylenol or something. So that's just our reality. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, watch the sugars. There's something amazing. Miss Stacy Mitchell in the back, in the pink chef coat. Miss Stacy is a caterer and a consultant. She did the Small Bites board in the front. She can talk to you about gut flora health as well. That's why I brought her up just now, because she taught me about date caramel. So if you must add a sugar to something, you can soak medjool dates in warm water and then whip them in a blender. That's your caramel. If you want to put a little caramel on your sweet potatoes for the holidays, it's a fruit. It's a naturally occurring sugar. And honestly, they're sweeter than, like, I can barely handle it. Oh, this is too sweet for me. But if you eat 2 dates, you're good for like 12 hours. They are loaded with nutrition. And that's why I said avocado, dates, walnuts. I don't need no McDonald's, right? That's why I mentioned dates, because that's what people in the desert regions do. When they can't get fresh food, they just carry a few dates in their pocket. They're good to go. So thank you all for your attention. This was a lot of information. And I'll be bringing samples to the table so y'all can add it.
And if you all have any additional questions for Chef Tracy, she will be in the back.
Oh,
she
sure.
won't be
Let's
leaving.
see. Ran out of time. Oh, okay. Let's see what I got here. Okay, I still got my hot mic. Let's see. Okay, who's getting the Brussels sprouts? Okay, sure, babe. Okay, right there. Okay. All right, you're most welcome. Sure. Just like this? Okay, look. Okay, sure. Okay, I'm gonna get you more. Oh, you're welcome. All right, ready? Like that? Okay. Oh, sure. Let's see. That looks good. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. You're most welcome. Hi there. Doing fish and Brussels? Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. You're most welcome. Hi there. Fish and Brussels sprouts? Okay, sure. And I made sure I did not add inflammatory foods to the buffet either. No butter in that either. Okay, Mama, you getting fish too?
You said, what do you use? You use grapeseed oil?
Yeah, grapeseed oil was what I used up here. I didn't use any other of my oils, but I do carry avocado oil and extra virgin to cook with. Yeah, well, yes, absolutely.
What would you prefer, like when you cook most often?
I'm doing avocado. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're most welcome. Hey, Mama. Good question. So glad you asked that because I would have wanted to bring it up. You want a little bit of this?
Yeah, I'm trying to drum.
Yeah.
So I can have the tone.
This is a black drum. Drum. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I actually went to Tony's and it was whole on the ice and they filleted it for me. I asked them for several pounds. Yes, ma'am. All right. All right. Oh, sure, sure. I like that y'all about to sell me out of Brussels sprouts. Okay. You're welcome. This is drum. Would you like to sample it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Wait, drum as well. Okay. Okay. Let me get this. My hands went to the Brussels sprouts. Yeah. Okay. Sure. And this is. All right. There you go. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone enjoying themselves? Good. I know y'all probably eating. So the ones that are sitting down, please get your tickets up. Get your tickets out. We have a few giveaways for you all. Some people. Okay, so the ones who register, you did not get a ticket. The ones who register on site, you should have gotten a ticket. Anyone need any more tickets before we get started? Raise your hand. Okay, so I'm going to have our students come in, pull the lucky ticket.
My favorite is at Target. And it's in the frozen food section in like a little navy blue bag. You should look it up. All right, you want some sprouts?
Okay, the ticket number is 102009. Who?
Okay. You're welcome.
Woo!
Congratulations.
All right, I would next.
Oh. Okay, sure. I think this is good. You're going to like that, child. Let me turn on my mic.
All right, I would next pull. Come on, Sanai. Okay, it's 102019. Going once, going twice. 102019. Okay, next. Ms. Miller? Yes, fine. All right, and the last one, we're gonna do one more drawing at the end of the program. And the last one for the prize bag would be 102016. Whew! Oh! Come on. Yes, ma'am. We have a winner.
prioritizing themselves and demanding something that we have not demanded in the generations before them, and that's work-life balance. It was nothing for me to be in the salon for 12 hours a day. It was nothing. It was nothing for me to just keep going, even though I felt that lump there. It was nothing. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor for my yearly exam that year. And when she did the breast portion of the exam, I remember when she was on that side thinking to myself, please let that be normal. Please let that be normal. And she didn't say anything, so I didn't say anything. And it was a year later that after I stopped breastfeeding and it was still there, that I said, I gotta get it checked. So when I initially called to get it checked, it was 30 days out before I could get an appointment. And that was with me telling them that I felt a lump. But in that 30 days, or as I was waiting, y'all, when I tell you guys that, and I see this sign here that says faith, and when I tell you guys that there was signs and symbols everywhere that was saying run to the doctor. There was billboards on the interstate that I had never seen or noticed before that said cancer, like know your options. I'm scrolling down the TV in the on the preview channel, and it's like cancer, know your options. Things like that just kept jumping out at me, jumping out at me. So I was at the salon running my mouth, and I'm telling one of my clients about how I had this lump, and girl, it's gonna take me 30 days to get an appointment. And she happened to be a nurse. And this is how God works, and how you have to look at things and have faith, and just know that when you're chosen for things and to go through things, that God will take you through them. And it's so easy to, say why me, and to ponder on the negative parts of things. But when we really, really look at it, we really, really just stop and think and just listen and open our eyes and just let God guide our steps. So my client tells me, she said, well, Tanya, they have free mammograms at Women's Hospital. Like, I think it's the second Tuesday of every month. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So that happened to be like the Tuesday coming up. So I was able to go over there, was able to get my free mammogram. Well, actually, it was a screening, but the lady was doing the breast exam part of it, and I had to put her hand right on it. So that goes back to self-advocacy, because no two lumps will feel the same. Okay? And so, we got a lot of information today, a whole bunch of information. It is so useful and it's so helpful. But the one or the most important thing is just know what your body feels like. And if there's any changes in your body, report it. Seek help. Okay? Because the reality of it is that 1 in 8 of us will be diagnosed. So if there's 40 women in this building, that's going to be 5 of us that's going to be diagnosed. And I didn't count the survivor sitting at the table. So that's 5 people that are not sitting at that table that could be sitting at that table at one, or that will at one point in their lives. How will you handle it? How will you get through it? They have medicine for you that can help to kill the cancer. They have foods that you can eat to help to keep it away. But how will you get through it when that hair falls out? I know we have units, but it's one thing to choose to wear them. It's another thing to feel like you have to. How will you get through it when those breasts that we put on display are no longer there? How will you get through that? How will you get through it when you don't have the energy to go out and party with those girls you hang out with every weekend, and they're not coming to your house to hang out with you while you go through breast cancer? How will you get through that? So those are things, getting through that starts long before you have breast cancer too. Getting through that starts with loving you and who you are on the inside. So when that day comes when your number is called and you happen to be that 1 in 8 and they take your hair, it doesn't take your spirit. And it takes your breath, but it doesn't take your spirit. It takes your friends and your family sometimes, but it doesn't take your spirit. Because you, before breast cancer, started working on your inside. And the best way to do that is the golden rule, and that's in treating people how you want to be treated so that you can truly love yourself. And when you truly love yourself, you rock that bald head. I've always wanted, when I thought my head was too big. But when it came, I was not ashamed because I love myself. When I went to shave my head, I had a room full of people that loved me and were there with me on that day. When I was out of work with breast cancer treatments, because I had to go through the whole gamut. I had the bilateral mastectomy, I had chemotherapy, I had 6 weeks of radiation, I had numerous reconstruction surgeries. And there was a whole village of people that it took to get me through that. But that village would not be there if I didn't love myself and give them someone to love. So we cannot change the fact right now that 1 in 8 of us will be diagnosed. The earlier, the better. You catch it early by doing your mammograms and doing your monthly self-exams. Anything that's not normal, you repeat that. But you get through that with the medicines that we heard about. You get through that eating like Chef Tracy talked about, and you get through that loving yourself so that others can love on you. And then you come out on the other side a different person, a different person. You appreciate those little hairs when they start growing back. You know, I never appreciated having a little mustache until after chemotherapy. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was coming back to me. But even then, it's a renewed me. It's a me that's grateful for every day. It's a me that doesn't take for granted the opportunities to come here and tell y'all how God took me through it, and how when the 5 of y'all in this room that are selected and are drafted for this part of the war, he will take you through it too. And the rest of you guys will be those support soldiers. The rest of you guys will be those ones sending those care packages. Like the women of Baton Rouge that fed me for 3 weeks when I was out with surgeries. Women I didn't know sent food to my house, because that's who we are. That's who we are. But again, if you didn't love yourself and give them someone to love, no one will be there for you to love on you when your number is called. So let's get through this with medicine. Let's get through this by loving ourselves. Let's get through this by demanding respect and demanding time off to take care of ourselves, not being afraid of that, like the new generation, right? In the new generation, let's take from the older generation and take care of one another. We can work together and we can all support each other through what one day will be one of your callings, and if not your callings, someone you know. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, your speech was amazing. It was very touching. And I just want everybody to give her again another round of applause. I would first like to thank you guys for being here today, for being present, for being open. Okay, so as we come to a close of this special event, I would like to take a moment to honor the brave breast cancer survivors among us and remember those who fought valiantly but who are no longer with us. Personally, my great-grandmother, she had breast cancer, and she went a long time without telling anybody about it. She didn't tell anybody until it was really late into the process, and she told my nana. So what you said, what you guys have all said today is very important to prioritize ourselves. But if you are a breast cancer survivor, or if you have a loved one who has battled with breast cancer and is no longer with us, I invite you all to please stand. And so, like she said, so we stand in awe of your strength, your courage, and your determination. Your journey inspires us all. And today we honor not just the battle fought, but the hope, love, and unwavering spirit that carries us forward. So to those who are no longer with us, your legacy lives on in our hearts and in the fight that continues. We honor your memory with our commitment to awareness, support, and the search for a cure. So thank you guys for being here. Okay. Now, if we have a moment, if we can please have our lovely speakers come back up. We just have a token of our appreciation for you guys. Let's give them one more round of a hand, you guys. Okay. And then also, we have 3 breast cancer survivors that are in the room. If you guys could please join us up here. All right, y'all. Now it's time to go ride. So did y'all bring y'all tennis shoes? I brought mine. So please, once you get your stuff together, switch to your tennis shoes, and we have our bikes out to the side. And also, pretty, please do our survey. We got some paper surveys for you guys if you need a paper survey, but if not, please scan the QR code and fill out our surveys. And if not, if you want to raise your hand, we have some paper surveys available for you guys as well. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank y'all and have a good day.